Alright, welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode 444. We are here discussing, episode number 1164, which was Saul's Resolve, the Inherited of Ohara, and chapter 1184. So, this episode pretty much covers the entirety of chapter 1134. Yes, it just by sheer coincidence that the episode is exactly 50 chapters behind where the manga is. That's just by sheer coincidence. Because they waited a little while before they actually started doing this stuff. So, in this episode, we start off pretty much like the last episode where Saul is already reunited with Robin, and pretty much basically like Luffy just tries to thank him, and like, who taught you that? Like, thanking properly for being a good friend, taking care of Robin when she was younger. And, of course, like, I know who you are. And then, of course, we're introduced to a brand new character here. Well, actually, she debuted last episode. This is Angie. Who is Angie, I might ask? Angie is basically Saul's assistant in the library. Yep, we'll get back to her. So, and then we're introduced to a bunch of new characters here. There's one introduced a bit later, but these ones use this episode. We have Shikidi, Bonjon, Immel, Exo, Gurnov, Yavia, Raja, Mag, Karen, Bent, Olaf, Johanna, and Belbo. Now, each of these names basically are kids. These are a bunch of kid names and basically derived from either Scandinavian or Swedish names. Shikidi is from Scandinavia. Bonjon is from, sounds like French. No, it's Scandinavian. Emil, it's a girl. No clear where they got the name from, but Emil basically sounds like something. Yeah, all these people wear hats. We'll get to something else related to it. There's also Axel. His actually is Scandinavian. So we're using all these kids here. And then, of course, the Straw Hats split into two different groups. Actually, more like three, because Usopp and Luffy go to school just to be chased by kids. So, by the way, before this, Lily decided to change herself to Saul. Like, oh hi, Saul's like, do I know you? It's like, oh, I'm Vegapunk. It's Lily Vegapunk, the evil side of Vegapunk. And we have this little thing from the ship, like, oh, this is supposedly a clone of Vegapunk, and of course, oh, I'm gonna stay in basically Elbath to set up a new lab. Bonnie's gonna stay because basically her father. Makes total sense. So, pretty much, I think it's, and of course, you have Frankie look at the giant tree with Jinbei, and that's the last I see of them. They don't do much this episode, sadly. And then we also have, I think it's Nami. I think it's like Nami, Zoro, Sanji. They go off to school while Robin, Lily, Bonnie, and Chopper go to the Owl Library. Which, of course, basically, Robin is basically in tears of this place because the fact that the books in this library are from Ohara. And, of course, when they arrive, when they're into the library, the books come giant size. Yep, so the book she was carrying, oh my, comes giant size into the room. Yeah, this actually is a devil power from the Owl who debuts this episode, who's a librarian in this place. And, yeah, this is what that one. In the case of Luffy and Usopp chased by the kids, of course, they like called brats or runts. And of course, they want to be warrior for some reason. And then, of course, they're standing on something which turns out to be a giant woman. This is Ripley, making her anime debut. And I have read this woman's implied to be named after the woman who's currently the WWE Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. Which she has like a little tattoo, warrior mark on her face. And, well, very stunning woman, except here's the thing. This stunning woman is 80 years old because, of course, giants age very slowly. Humans age faster. So she looks stunning for 80. And, of course, they have a slight little change here because the way Luffy falls on her is that in the manga, he basically lands just above her cleavage. In the anime, she lands right in the cleavage. And Ripley has no problem with this at all. None whatsoever. And they chat for a bit. Of course, kids are playing with them. It's great to see this character. She actually plays a really big role in this arc, Ripley does. Oh, yes, I love this character. It's not just because she's named after a female wrestler, which, by the way, the real life woman is very stunning. Yes, and she's not even 30 yet. She's very stunning. Yeah, anybody can tell but look at Rhea Ripley. Yeah, and it's nothing to do with the fact she's from Australia. Yeah, so pretty much basically, like, they go off, and then the episode ends with this. We have, I think it's Bragi, the short of the two chiefs, just start drinking, and then we have this magic circle pop up in Harold's castle. Harold was the former king of the country, and he, well, they mentioned the manga too, he actually died, got killed by his son. It's for the manga, it was actually Loki did it, but there's a reason why, as explained in the flashback. And then, in this magic circle, it's obviously a magic circle, they don't call it here a magic circle, but clearly it is. Inside the magic circle, we have two figures in cloaks. One of whom is Fingerland Fingerland Shamrock, who's named after Ken Shamrock. Yeah, the whole concept of Shamrock, he's actually named after Ken and Frank Shamrock. Frank Shamrock is not really big of a big name. Ken Shamrock is, because of the fact he's a MMA fighter. But then we have debut of one other character. Obviously a woman wearing bandage in her face. A woman by the name of Manmeyer Gunko. They identify her in the episode, but she does make a physical appearance in this very episode. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and definitely looking forward to basically with this more of this next week. Yeah, and we're going to get to more talking about basically of who she is. Well, it's implied who she is, and of course they talk about that. But overall, great episode. Next up we have is basically the manga. Chapter 1184, Where All Bones We Die. The coverage is basically Brooke getting electrocuted by electric jellyfish while swimming in the sea. So we start off with Princess Shuri, which is implied to be the woman in appears in the anime, where she's at the age of 14. Brooke's here at 27. Well, look, when I saw the scene here, it looked like a scene from the previous chapter where Brooke's walking on the side because she's a bit older now. And he is roughly 13 years older than she is. So basically they chat for a bit. And yeah, it's very heavily implied in this flashback that Brooke had a thing for Princess Shuri's mom, who was the queen. And the king basically wanted to kill him for it. But it's not really delved into very much. And we kind of get Brooke's little backstory where he looked like still with music. We should have played the violin. In present day, he plays the guitar. Yeah, and then of course, basically we have just Brooks. I think this is his father because Brooke has the same type of face. They have some frog, of course, and of course they just play music. Then he got beaten up by the Marines for no reason. And I think it's somebody else. And then he's rescued by Prince Raven, who's a friend of his. So it's not his father, it's just a friend. So then, of course, basically he and Princess Shuri rescue him. It's like, actually, it was the queen. And very stunning woman this woman is. Yeah. And then Brooke basically is happy alive. This when he was a kid. It's basically about 16 years prior to the present part of the flashbacks. And yeah, and of course they're talking about a friend. Of course, he kind of falls for her. And then like a new Sparanda. If we love this guy, keep him around. Life of Palace can be way more fun. Yeah, and it is interesting though that the current arc is basically exploring Brooke's backstory. I find that interesting that we're doing this now. Like, why couldn't this years ago? I don't know. My guess is because, well, I'm guessing probably the reason why they never bothered to cover this is probably because, I'm guessing at this, is probably because basically it was not exactly on Oda's mind, but now we get a chance to you know. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to the next episode, which will air next week. As for if in fact I'm going, if new check comes out, I don't know yet. So that is pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up we have is a comment corner, and then it's on to Commodore Zex. Okay, thanks, bye.